What's up, you guys? Welcome to Support Group Game, and I'm a therapist who games. And today we are going to be talking about The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 for PlayStation VR 2. Now, this game is on different platforms, but I played this game on PlayStation VR 2, and so I'm going to be talking about this game from that perspective. But before we get into that, if you can do me a favor, if you can hit the like and subscribe button, it helps the channel out a lot. And we're able to have more discussions like this about video games across the spectrum. And again, it helps the channel out a ton. So if you're feeling the vibe, like and subscribe. But now let's jump into it. The Saints and Sinners franchise is a franchise that has been a cultural phenomenon. You know, people who love zombies really love this franchise. You know, they've had comic books, they've had games, they've had TV shows, and they have all been successful in that media market. The Saints and Sinners, however, is a little different. It gives the consumer the opportunity to become one with the Walking Dead universe. Saints and Sinners first released on the MetaQuest back in January of 2020. Sometime in 2022, Part 2 released, but I didn't get a chance to play it until it was released for the PlayStation VR 2 in March of 2023. On the PS5, the game came out with the HD graphics, pretty much like an HD remake, and let me tell you, I'm glad that I had to wait to play this game because by the time it came out on PlayStation VR 2, both Part 1 and Part 2 were already out and they were released as a bundle. So when I played this game, I was able to play Part 1, the DLC, and Part 2. And so it just felt like a very long game that I was able to just enjoy versus, you know, the people who had to play part one, then wait for the DLC, and then play part two. I had the opportunity to just enjoy the entire thing all in one setting. Well, not one setting, but you know, all in one campaign, if you will. Before we go any further, we're going to talk about the plot of this game. So, and no spoilers, but the plot of part one, you are your character's name is the tourist. Well, that's what, you know, the people call you. You are known as the tourist. And you come across some folks and, you know, some small chat and everything like that. And, you know, all of a sudden, your objective is to help these folks find what's called the reserve. The reserve as a cache of weapons, supplies, and things like that. Because as you know, in The Walking Dead, the you know, society is destroyed, and everybody is just trying to survive. And so there's word that there's this cache, and you know, your role is to try to help find it. In part two, you still play the same character, and your role is to help take down the militia group that pretty much has the city of New Orleans in a chokehold. And so, as you should know, the game takes place in New Orleans, and this game does a really good job at making the player feel like they're in New Orleans, just with the setting and everything. The graphics in the HD format, very well done. Very well done. You know, everything looks pretty smooth and polished. And as you go through the city, you feel like you're in there. Now, it's not, you know, it's not 100% like because you're not really using the power of the PlayStation 5. Again, this game came out on Quest first, and so the PlayStation was able to slap on some, you know, a nice HD coat to it to make it look very decent. The gameplay of this game is very enjoyable, very smooth, and they do a really great job with their mechanics You use the controls to pull the trigger. You can grab your backpack, you take your backpack off, you put supplies in there, and it's really well done. You can craft weapons. You go through the city, and you're out there finding supplies that you can craft. So you're finding pieces of metal, old pieces of wood, old pieces of this, broken hand, gun parts, to so that you can help craft new stuff. And they do a really good job at making the player, it incentivizes exploring. But here's the kicker: you can't explore that long because every day you're on a timer, and you have to try to get as much as you can while you can, because at a certain time the bells go off. And once the bells go off, the city becomes swarmed with walkers, because in the Walking Dead universe, you have to they use bells to get people, to get the walkers to go from one side of the city to the other, and so this is how they travel. And so you got to hurry up and get out of there before those bells go off. This game, if I had to rate it, I would give it a an 8.5. You know what? I'll give it an 8.7 out of 10, because it's highly enjoyable. There's some things I feel like they could. I feel like if this game was developed by strictly for the PlayStation 5, it could definitely bump up, because they're able to really fine tune it, and it's really able to be made with the PlayStation 5's capabilities. Like I said, this game came out for the Quest, and when it came out on PSVR 2, it was just a nice paint job for it. So, what I really like the most about this game is the way you really feel immersed into the environment. And it's really scary. Like creeping through old houses and creeping through certain areas, you really feel the intensity while you're in the game. When you have this headset on, you really escape reality, and you're right there in this game, in this universe. And so I can't wait for part 3. I'm hoping that they make it, but I'm upset that it's going to take a couple years, because like I said, part 1 came out in 2020, and then part 2 came out late 2022. So we're not going to see this game at least until 2024, 2025. And I'm hoping that there's some type of DLC, but this game was worth me getting a PlayStation VR 2 headset just for this reason, because the way this game just kind of, pulls you in. No other game has given me that feeling, to where you really feel like you're in there, and you're afraid sometimes to open certain doors, or you hear certain things because you've got your headset on. When it comes to your senses, sight and vision, I'm sorry, that is the same thing, sight and hearing, the only thing this game is missing is the smell, right? But when you got your headset on, if you got this eyewear on, you literally feel like you're right there with these zombies. And I played other zombie games like Resident Evil and stuff like that. And, those games I thought were scary, but nothing has scared me like The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So, guys, I'm going to leave you on that note. For those of you who played this game, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, your experience playing it. For those of you who have not, do yourself a favor. Somehow, some way, if you've got a friend with a Quest, offer to buy the game. If you've got a friend with a VR headset, offer to buy the game, and go and experience this game, because it is a great experience. And that's what it is. It's an experience, one that I've never experienced before. So for those of you who have gotten to this point in the video, I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the vibe, like and subscribe, and I will definitely catch you guys next time here on Support Group Gaming. Till next time, you guys have a good one. Peace.